Okay, get yourself ready for your restorative practice. So have a blanket to lay on top of so that you kind of create maximum comfort. Also, warmth is important. I know we're in the middle of June, but I don't think we're having particularly amazing weather, are we? So have a blanket if you feel like you might be cold, and have a bolster for underneath your knees, have a couple of blocks for underneath your feet, and then just lay yourself down with the blanket underneath your head, and then just allow yourself just to release into the floor. So if you've been busy today, it's always just really nice, really blissful to just allow the body to gently release into the floor. So focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Soften your jaw and your tongue and your throat. Soften your eyes. Allow the body to just release into the floor, feeling how the floor and the bolster and the blocks and the blanket support the body. Just listen to the sound of your breath. And consciously fill both lungs evenly from the bottom to the top. And consciously empty both lungs evenly. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose if you can. Just warms the air on the way in. It is easier on the throat. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet. Consciously relaxing the underside of the foot. Drawing your attention to the soles of the feet and then consciously pushing the out breath into the soles of the feet and allowing the soles of the feet to completely relax. Draw your attention to the tops of your feet so that the skin of the tops of the feet becomes warm and tingly with consciousness. And then relax the skin and the muscle and the bone and the ligaments of the tops of the feet. And then consciously relax the soles of the feet. Relaxing the tops of the feet and the bottom of the feet. And then drawing your consciousness into the shins. Draw your awareness into your shins. And then relax the skin and the bone and the muscles of the fronts of the shins. And then relax the shins, the muscles and the bones, just allowing the muscles to totally relax. Draw your attention into your kneecaps and into your thighs. Just be conscious that the thighs can sink into the backs of the knees. And then relax the thighs, allowing the thighs to sink into the backs of the thighs. Soften around the kneecap, completely surrendering into the floor with the legs. thighs and knees. Just allowing the legs and the feet to completely relax into the floor. Draw your attention into the abdomen and the torso, just feeling how the upper body can completely relax into the floor. Relaxing the abdomen by letting go of any tension you might be holding around belly button region. Just let the body relax into the floor. Just soften the abdomen and accommodate the inhalation as you inhale, feeling the chest expand upwards and outwards. Just relaxing the torso, the abdomen, around the tops of the shoulders, the fronts of the shoulders. Just let the muscles completely relax. Relaxing the shoulders into the floor. Just allow the abdomen to relax, the shoulders to relax, and draw your attention into your arms, into your shoulders and into your arms. Focusing on allowing the arms to rest into the floor. Allow the upper arms to relax, the lower arms and the hands to completely relax into the floor. Soften around the throat and soften the muscles around the face. Allowing the forehead to spread from the top of the skull down to the eyes, from the center of the eyebrows and out towards the ears. Just smoothing across the forehead like smoothing clay. And smooth down the face, just softening and relaxing the facial muscles. Soften the jaw, soften the tongue and the throat. Listen to the sound of the breath. Just focusing on taking deep inhalations, filling the lungs completely without labouring the breath. Just allow the rib cage to expand with the inhalation. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes and wriggle your fingers. And then bend your knees. Bring your feet onto your bolster, have your feet apart, your knees together. Just resting your back into the floor. And then gently roll over onto your side, onto your right side. And then stretch out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just sitting cross legs for a moment, just observing how maybe your energy feels a little more alive. Okay, we're going to do some poses that help to kind of open up your shoulders, but also really open up your energy. So get your blanket, unfold it so that it's like a quarter fold like this, and then just fold it down the middle. So you've got quite a chunky, kind of narrow bolster, little kind of blanket bolster. You can move the blocks for your feet, but you keep the bolster for your knees. And then you're just going to lay yourself down, back down onto the floor, and the blanket is just going to support the shoulder blade region. And then you're just going to rest your arms over your shoulders. If your head rolls back, you can put a blanket underneath your head. If there's stiffness in your shoulders, you can just put some blocks just underneath your hands, just so that you can stay in the pose with comfort. So remember, comfort is paramount. So the blanket supporting the shoulders, just feel how, if you rest your arms over your head along the floor, how that starts to open up the armpits, open up the shoulders a little. So as you know, as we progress into the practice, I'll speak less and less so that you can just spend the time relaxing rather than listening. Remember, if you're not comfortable or if the pose doesn't feel quite right because of the equipment, then just adjust the equipment until it does feel comfortable and stable. So this is our mountain brook pose. Just a really good way to open the energy of your shoulders. Just allowing the body to surrender into the floor and the bolster and the blanket. Okay, bring your arms just back, just rest your hands on your lower ribs. Bend your knees and then roll onto your side. And then sit yourself up, just sit again in cross legs, just observe how the shoulders feel a little more energized, a little more open. And then we'll do our side lion stretch, which again is a really good pose for stiff shoulders. So if you've got an oblong bolster, use that. If you haven't, then the blanket that you just used for Mountain Brook, just fold it up again so you've got this really thick blanket. And when you go over to your side, it's just going to sit in the armpit chest. Have a block for your head, and then just bend both of your knees so that you're comfortable. Lengthen along so that the armpit chest is just sitting on top of the bolster. Bring the shoulder down. Just rest this arm in a little right angle, and then stretch. Either leave that top arm on the hip or stretch it over your ear. So again, if this feels stiff in that shoulder, you can put a block underneath that hand, if it like this, so it's not going all the way down. If you need it, just give it whatever, just have whatever support you need. And then again, just allow yourself to just relax into the floor. So with stiff shoulders, sometimes this can initially feel a little uncomfortable. So give yourself that lift of that top hand, so you have the block underneath the hand, just so that you can relax a little more easily. And then maybe as you stay, you can either just stay with that same block, or maybe you can just lower it a little, just once you get used to it. Try and breathe evenly into both lungs, which is quite a challenge because of the bolster, but just aim to breathe evenly into both lungs.
So as you stay in the pose, as long as you're giving yourself a suitable amount of support, maybe you find that areas of stiffness just loosen up a little. Okay, bring that top arm just back to rest on your side. Push your elbow into the floor and then just come up into cross legs again. Just observe how the shoulders feel different. Just maybe move your neck from side to side, just giving yourself a little space in the neck. So we're going to work to support the neck as well in a moment. Before we do that, let's just come over to the other side. So again, you just sit on the other hip, lengthen along the bolster, just supporting the armpit chest with the bolster, sorry, and then just allow yourself to release into the floor. And then when you're ready, just bring that top arm to rest over your shoulder, over your ear, sorry. We can give it whichever support you may require. Okay, bring the top hand down to rest on the hip. Push your elbow into the floor and then just push yourself up into cross legs. Just again, just observe your energy around the shoulders and around the neck. That lightness of positive energy that glows around the shoulders and the neck and the head. Okay, and then we're going to do a supported bridge pose. So for this, you'll need your blanket. Just unfold it so that it's like this little quarter fold, like this, and then create a little Swiss roll with the blanket. Roll up the end of the blanket. You don't want to do it all the way, just so you got something to rest your head on as well. So that is going to go in your neck. It's very comfortable. But if it's not comfortable, then you just adjust how much of that roll you've got there. So you're going to come down onto your back and just, first of all, just get yourself in position. Just rest that, rest your head in the little kind of roll of the blanket. Just make sure it feels even. And then you're going to lift your seat bones up and then bring the bolster underneath your lower back and your seat bones, and then keep the knees bent. So at this stage, this is where you think, well, have I got enough support for my neck? So if you haven't, just lift your head, just give yourself a bit more of a roll, and then just let your arms rest on the floor. You can equally just rest your arms over your head like this, or just have them on top of the bolster. Just find a comfortable position for your arms. So if after a little while the roll in the back of the neck feels uncomfortable, then just again adjust until it feels more comfortable again. But this is really nice for a stiff neck, stiff shoulders, stiff neck. So if you feel that the chest is sinking a little, then just bring the bolster a little bit higher up your back. Just focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations, just allowing the body to sink into the floor. Just cherishing this time to yourself, this time to replenish your energy, rejuvenate body, and work through tension and stress, just allowing yourself time just to release into the floor. seat bones, just slide the bolster away underneath your knees, and you can stay with the rolled up blanket underneath your head, or you might want to reduce it a little, or you might want to get rid of it altogether. Just giving yourself that little bit of support, a little bit of additional support in the neck. Can just help to release these shoulders. Just allow the body to become heavy on the floor. Although after the sequence we have done, the body is more likely to feel really light on the inside. A feeling of genuine lightness radiating out from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs and into the flesh and the skin. It's that feeling of energetic lightness that radiates from the bones into the muscles, the organs, the flesh and the skin. Just providing a feeling of warmth and lightness. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of lightness down into the toes, down into the fingertips and all the way up into the top of the head. And when you're ready to disturb yourself, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Just bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster. Just have the feet apart, the knees together, just letting the lower back just press into the floor. And then roll over onto your right side, just stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out the top leg, come back up into seated position. Just come into cross legs with your hands in the masti. Just before you bring your hands into the masti, just hold onto your knees, just observe that deep, quietening energy that we released around the neck and the shoulders and the head. And then bring your hands into the Namaste, press the palms together, draw your breath in through the nose down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy this evening, even that clean, positive energy that you've released through your sequence of restorative poses. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then very gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really loosened out your shoulders and your neck, and you've given yourself a good energy for the rest of your evening. So thank you very much for joining me.